Bonjour mes amis, I'm Ethel. Welcome to my channel. I am a licensed health and life coach, and today we're going to delve into looking at abusive cultures. Yes, it is a sensitive topic, but we're going to delve into it all the same because we tackle the real stuff, the hard stuff, and we heal from trauma so that we can live our best, most fulfilling lives. So let's delve in. How do you know that you are in an abusive culture? So these cultures could be countrywide cultures, it could be people-wide cultures, it could be family cultures. So it can be organizational or institutional or a whole countrywide culture. I'm gonna talk about two things: abusive cultures and how to heal yourself, how to support yourself if you come from such a culture. Whether it was from your family background or from the country you come from, or just the environment that you found yourself growing up in. Like this plant over here, it's a seedling. This plant needs soil to grow, okay? This plant is a seed put into the right soil, given sunlight and the right environment, water, nutrients, it grows and could actually become a tree. Given the wrong environment, this plant can become sickly and die. It could possibly die. Okay. It could become unproductive, and it could just, you could see from looking at the plant that it's suffering, and it's just struggling, you know? So the whole idea of delving into looking at abusive family cultures or country cultures is not to bash or to blame. It's really to look at, okay, where am I coming from? What deficiencies are in my soil? What deficiencies where in my environment are currently in my environment? How do I mitigate those deficiencies so I can thrive in my life? Because you only have one life. There is no other one. This is it. So that I can thrive and live my best, most fulfilling life, right? So that I don't get to the end of my life with a bunch of regrets, and no second chance, and just feeling bitter and angry and just sad, and not having the things and the people and the legacy that I could build. Let's look at this, okay, with an open mind, with an open heart. So some of the characteristics of abusive cultures are that there's this hierarchy. There's always this hierarchy, okay? Children are at the bottom of the hierarchy and adults are at the top. Mostly males are the far top, and then women, and then children, okay? So this hierarchy makes it so that power is concentrated on the top. And so if you're a child growing up in such an environment, usually your sense of personhood, like your values, your likes and dislikes and whatnots are not really very important. You're more relegated to being quiet, being seen and not heard, and just, you know, basically doing whatever, you know, your superiors tell you to do until you reach adulthood. You know, so for a really long time, yourself may be very well suppressed. That suppression is not healthy for your mind, for your heart, for human beings. Human beings were not made to live like that. Just like the plant I showed you, that's not a conducive environment for human beings to grow up and thrive in. So you might have found yourself, you know, in adulthood wondering, who am I? What do I want? What do I like? And why do I keep repeating abusive relationships in my life? and just a slew of why do I have anxiety and depression and a slew of other problems that you might be scratching your head and just sometimes praying, and doing everything that you feel you should be doing, but feel like you're not getting ahead or you're not really understanding like what is going on. It could be the soil that you grew up in and just how deficient it's made you in terms of how to support yourself, how to really look at your values, how to value yourself, really. And so, another indicator for an abusive culture is just abuse. Okay, plain abuse. Sometimes abuse is more elusive. Like it doesn't look like abuse, but it is. Like when your voice is not heard or you're put down or you're told negative words. Okay. There was research that was actually done where people would speak negative words to 3 different packages of, I think, rice. Okay. And one was left neutral and one was always spoken negative words to. And then the other one was affirmed and encouraged and spoken positive words to. And at the end of a certain length of time, and you can look it up on the internet, the positive word rice that I received the affirmations became fragrant. Like it actually gave off like a fragrant smell and was doing really well. And the neutral one actually started deteriorating, but the rice sample that got like negative words actually got rotten and moldy and did not do well. So it just shows like in that experiment is just like a very simple experiment that you can find on the internet, just the power of words. So if you were told negative things growing up, it gives you a negative sense of yourself. And you grow up with this critical, self-judging mentality, okay, in your subconscious that you don't always pay attention to. It's just there. If you don't sit down and think about, okay, what do I really believe about myself? You might never know the kinds of horrible things you're telling yourself. And some of these things might not come to you because somebody said them to you, but they implied them to you. They made you feel unimportant because they weren't there for you as a child. They did not listen to you. They beat you. They insulted you. They mocked you. They teased you. All sorts of things. And obviously there are more extreme forms of abuse where physical or sexual abuse and all kinds of, mutilations and whatnot happen to people, okay? And when you're a child, you're so powerless, okay? You're so at the mercy of adults in your life, and you are in survival mode most of the time when you don't feel safe in your environment. So you're not going to stand up for yourself. And if you did, you got probably booted right back down to the bottom of the line. So this is kind of like the picture. And another picture that might not be as blatant as these pictures that I've described is childhood emotional neglect. Okay. This is where nothing really bad happens to you, but your parents were just emotionally not there. They really did not engage with you. They weren't affectionate. They really didn't listen. They really didn't hug you and tell you they loved you and praise you. They just weren't there. Now they provided for you. You were provided for. You had all the good things, the best schools, the everything that you needed physically, but emotionally there was no connection. And so you felt orphaned, even with 2 parents or 1 parent or whatever. And so you grow up feeling like there is something wrong with you, feeling like there is a gap. There is something that I can't quite put my hand on that is not right. okay? That shows you that, again, in your soil growing up as a little seedling, you did not get certain essential nutrients that would make your plant, your life blossom, okay? That would make you your strongest, greenest, blossoming self. And so let's look at a few points that I've put together to help you support yourself. Because the big idea here is that now that you are an adult, okay, you have moved to the top of the line, okay? As a child, you had no resources. As an adult, you do. Your brain has developed, your body has grown, you have a little bit more knowledge of the world and what's going on. You have more resources, okay? So you can actually take over the role of mothering and parenting yourself. And that is really key here. Before we go forward into the rest of the video, that's really key. It's a really key concept. Self-parenting, self-mothering, taking care of yourself, especially if you come from an abusive culture, an abusive background, okay? And when I say abuse, neglect is included in that abuse. Things that you needed that you did not get, okay? And it's not to blame your parents again. It's not to blame, everybody else, but it's to recognize that there are nutrients, there are things, there are right environments that kids should grow up in. And sometimes those environments are just not there for kids that are growing up. And so as adults, these are some things you can do to support yourself, to heal on your journey. There's so many resources out there. And I would encourage you to delve into videos like this and books and get yourself a coach that knows what they're talking about when it comes to healing childhood trauma, and have them help you on your journey to healing and becoming your best self. So point number one, positive self-talk, okay? You might not know this, but you might have a critical voice living in your head. It could be the voice of your parents. It could be your own voice interpreting what messages you are getting from being neglected or being abused or being teased or, being bullied as a child. And so you, have negative self-talk. We're going to switch that around. And if it took like 20, 15 years to build this robust monster that's living in your head, that's putting you down every single day, you can combat that with your own decision to every day, even if it's 3 times a day or once a day, every day, telling yourself something positive, whether it's, taking the positive words from the Word of God or from an affirmations book, or writing your own affirmations, things that you want to believe about yourself, and saying them to yourself every single day, okay? And transforming your thinking and changing how you see yourself as a result of positive self-talk. And I think that flows into my second step, my second point, which is standing up for yourself. Okay, so as a child, obviously, if you live in an abusive culture or an abusive family background, standing up for you was not really something that was happening, and you couldn't do it for yourself either, for fear of losing love, for fear of not surviving, because, what if they threw you out as a child? Children just don't process things like adults, okay? So you develop coping mechanisms to keep yourself safe. And some of those coping mechanisms can keep you in your shell, can keep you locked in, can keep you in survival mode where you tolerate abuse. You become a tolerator of abuse. So you walk into adulthood and the world is open up to you, but you have learned coping mechanisms that open you up for abuse. So you're attracting abusive friendships. You're attracting abusive relationships. You're attracting abusive bosses, and you have no way of knowing how to navigate that for fear that you're triggered back into your childhood self. And it puts you in a place where you feel you could, like, something really, really bad could happen to you. Okay. So then you're just like clueless as to what to do. So second point is standing up for yourself. So that looks like, after you're telling yourself all these positive things, that looks like saying to your inner child, Ethel, I am here for you. You're not alone anymore. You're not by yourself anymore. I, adult Ethel, I'm here for you. What do you need from me? Oh, there's a bully boss. There's this guy that's treating you, less than stellar. You are valuable, right? Positive affirmation. You are beautiful. You're strong. You're all these things. So standing up for yourself will look like not engaging people when they're mocking you and teasing you. Saying, no, I do not appreciate that. I would rather this and this and this. In social situations, with your friends, with your co-workers, not allowing people to name call you, or use negative words on you, and setting clear boundaries, like, no, this is where it ends. And you don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to, get aggressive. It's just, you can't talk to me like that. And you just stand up for yourself when it comes to that kind of thing. Because again, since you did not have good soil, you are now, as adults, your adult self, trying to put the right nutrients into your soil, trying to put the water, okay? Giving yourself the sunshine, not negativity and darkness and, trepidation. You're trying to give yourself freedom, breathing, just relaxation, stress relief, so you can start to blossom, so you can start to, ripen up and not shrivel into, a depressed, anxious version of yourself. You're trying to bring out the best version of yourself. And so this is you saying, no, you're not going to put me down. No, you're not going to treat me like that, because that's unacceptable for what I'm trying to do with my life. Okay. So standing up for yourself is going to be a big job that you get to do for yourself. It's like a big gift that your adult self gets to give to your child self. And because of that, you're always going to be protected. Guess why? You're always going to be with you and you're always going to, and it's hard when you haven't learned that, growing up, when nobody did that for you. It's hard stuff, because you get triggered into a state where you feel that something really wrong is going to happen if you stand up for yourself. But usually something really, really good is what happens, because you start to feel secure. You start to trust yourself. It's called building self-trust. When you wake up in the morning, you feel like, I have somebody that looks out for me, and that person is me right here. And that person is always with me, and she's not going to let me down. She's not going to let anybody, mistreat her. She's going to be classy about it. But she's not going to take, things that drain your soil, things that drain your nutrients, things that drain your energy, things that put you in the dark and not in the sunshine. Okay. So that's the second step. Okay. Point number 3 is nourishing your body. Your body is what you experience the world with. Okay. So you're going to nourish your body. Growing up in an abusive culture, you might have barely gotten food. Okay. You might have, gotten everything that you need, but, not necessarily learned maybe how to take care of yourself. Right. Because there was a little bit of like just a hands off, more a provision, but hands off when it comes to how to take care of the body. So that could mean it's a lot of things. Okay, it could mean your your image, okay? Working on your image, whatever you want to look like, come up with a look, experiment with different looks, because you might not know what looks good on you or what you like. And so just try different looks, there is no, police. There's no looks police or fashion police. You try you, okay? And just nourish yourself like that. The other way is to nourish yourself with good, healthy food regularly, okay? Water, lots of water, lots of exercise. And exercise doesn't have to be torture, okay? It could be stretches. It could be taking nice long walks. It could be rigorous, okay? Because that can also feel really good. The endorphins and the dopamine that are released when you exercise and move your body. It could be a dance exercise, okay? Like, it doesn't have to be torture. It can be really fun. It can be going out and walking, hiking in nature, walking by the beach, whatever it is. Just moving, that body movement is going to be part of healing your trauma and part of settling in yourself, because your body, and sometimes there's this thing called dissociation that happens when you do have childhood trauma, where you kind of dissociate from your body. You live in an internal world a little bit more than an external integrated body, mind, soul, heart, spirit place. And so body movement, exercise, nourishing your body with good, healthy foods, taking care of yourself, drinking lots of water, getting into sunshine to get, your vitamins and everything else, and bring your mood up. All ways that you can support yourself to heal. If you do extended amounts of this, you see a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you're going to start integrating with yourself. You're going to start feeling like, oh my goodness, I feel like myself. Like, I feel like I'm discovering myself. I'm rediscovering myself. And that's just healthy, okay? And that's something you can do for yourself right now, no matter where you're at. Okay. Point number 4, nourish your mind. Oh my goodness. So this is huge, because our mental world and the stories that we tell ourselves based off of how we grew up, how these abusive cultures and family backgrounds might have even relationships in adulthood, okay, that were not positive. The stories that they tell us may not have been so great. And they could be shriveling our lives and making us feel like, oh, I'm this, or I'm that. I'm, telling you some negative stories about yourself. So nourishing your mind is going to look like, again, affirmations, okay? Putting the right kind of information in your mind. It can look like therapy, okay? Finding yourself a coach or a therapist that's going to help bounce back positive information, positive knowledge, positive support into your mind, okay? So that when you're thinking about yourself and walking and doing life, you're not caught in the negativity that you might have picked up from these abusive situations, but you're rather thinking, oh my goodness, I am this, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm resilient, I deserve to be here. I'm here. I belong to myself. I am centered. I am successful. I'm made to thrive. I'm made to live my best life. All these things are important mindset shifts that need to happen for you to thrive and live a fulfilling life, okay? And this nourishing your mind can also look like investing in books, videos like these, okay? And just getting all the information you can get about self-healing and trauma so that you can decode your subconscious and start working on yourself so that you can, beat anxiety and depression and just fear of failure, fear of success, all these things that keep us small, that you can defeat those things and live the life that you were meant to live. Like this plant, it's meant to bear fruit and have all beautiful, vegetables, fruits, whatever. But it's meant to produce fruit. And so, just going through these steps and doing some of these things I'm talking about will help you produce fruit. And when you're producing fruit, it looks like success, okay? And success does not look like what somebody else has. Success looks like you doing you living your best life, your version, the best version of yourself, okay? My last point, not the least, but last, is doing inner child work. I talked a little bit about it. Inner child work is deep work. Usually that is most appropriate within a therapy type settings where you get a therapist and they take you back into your childhood and try to help you process certain things that happened in the past. EMDR therapy, you can look that up. That actually is also a really great resource, and just therapy for healing trauma. I found it very helpful when I did it to process some stuff from my background. But yeah, doing inner child work is really great. And the main idea of inner child work is that you can be the parent, you can be the adult that you've been waiting for, that wasn't there when you needed somebody to stand in the gap for you, okay, for whatever reason, for, working double jobs, or, mental health issues that your parents had, or just a general culture that just does not care about children and giving them the right environment and love and care and investment that they need. It's just like, somebody throwing seeds on the ground and not really tending their garden and checking the soil and watering it or whatever. It's like, if you grow, you grow. If you don't, well, I'm doing the best I can type deals. And so again, shifting the focus from what everybody else did and did not do and whatnot. It's like, yeah, that's on them. But what you can do is to be your own parent, to be your own best friend, to be your own cheerleader, okay? And that has to do with coming face to face with some of the things that you wanted and did not have. And it's hard. It creates a lot of grieving to come face to face with those things. But then it's like, okay, from the grieving, what next? I get to be my own parent. I get to be the adult that I was waiting for all my life. Wow, that's awesome. I mean, I better get on that. Okay, because my whole life is ahead of me, not behind me, it's ahead of me. And so these are some points that I believe have helped me, and I believe will help you just begin to melt away some of that anxiety and fear, melt away some of that depression, come out of your shell, start to look at the world in a different way than you're used to, and start to tap into your hidden potential. Start to discover yourself in new ways and start to walk in your own power, to heal your mental health, to heal the world, to be able to extend yourself and be really the fruitful, productive, successful person that, you were made to be. And then most of all, to pass on that legacy to the next generation, through through your children, through people you come in contact with, through other people's children that you relate with, just passing on some healthiness, guys, to the next generation, while we live our best life. So these points they've been good. I hope they're helpful. I will be posting more videos like these, and so you're welcome to come back to my channel, subscribe if you want to, and we are just working on ourselves, working on healing, working on becoming our best selves. And again, your best self is your best self. The only person you compare yourself to is the person you were yesterday. So until next time, guys, have a beautiful life. Speak.